Is heaven for real? A 10-year-old Gulf Coast boy lost 100% of his skin after a 1 in a million reaction to a common antibiotic. During his 4-month stay at Shriners Hospital in Galveston, Texas, one day in particular changed the way he viewed his entire experience. The day Thelonious Jiggle Schmid Sylvester had a visit from heaven. News 5's Haley Minogue joins us now in the studio. Haley, people claiming to see God or an angel during a near-death experience, that's nothing new. So why is this experience different?
Thelonious's parents rushed him to the hospital, and within hours, they learned he had an extreme case of Stevens-Johnson syndrome called toxic epidermal necrolysis. His experience with an angel, Jesus, or God is different because of the clarity he had and the way the experience seemed to signify the end of his hardest days. But does it provide any proof that heaven is for real?
After a while, I saw this man standing in the corner of the room in a white robe and had a beard. He had white skin, a brown beard, brown hair, and he smiled at me, and then it was like I was back in my body. I thought it was really strange, but after that, it was just kept getting better and better after that point.
Do you think that that was God, or that that was an angel, or that that was...
That's what I believe.
In his darkest day, he saw a light, the appearance of something seemingly sent to him from heaven.
It just kept getting better from that point. It wouldn't go like better and then worse and better and then worse again. It would just get better after that.
Thelonious has trouble holding his head up because of muscle weakness, and he's sensitive to the light. He's legally blind. Scars on his legs mark the places Stevens-Johnson syndrome almost claimed his life.
And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it was literally right before our eyes. You could see the blisters spreading. You could look at him.
Like growing, it was growing.
1 second and then look back again, and it had moved. It was more and more and more.
It took 4 months for Thelonious to recover and come back to the Gulf Coast. That's when I first heard his remarkable story, and it got me thinking. After understanding all I could about Stevens-Johnson syndrome, I wanted to speak with an expert so I could better understand the experience Thelonious described when he almost watched himself die.
It's an empirical evidence that reaffirms what we've always believed in faith about being human, that there's a deep spiritual dimension, and that we live, the Bible says, not by bread alone, that we also have this spiritual dimension in which we are made for the presence of God, and God's presence sometimes enters into our awareness in surprising ways.
Not the first experience described to Father Viscardi. I asked if he truly believed this young man was visited by Christ.
Well, who knows? I mean, God is not just another little UFO. God is present in all things at all times. So, yeah, I truly believe God is with me right now.
Now on the road to recovery, receiving treatments to hopefully restore his vision. There was something we at News 5 knew we could help Thelonious do. Meet his favorite meteorologist, Alan Seals.
He's your number one fan.
Number one fan? So number one fan, why? Is it me or the weather?
Both.
Well, good. Okay. I prefer to be the weather, but I appreciate it either way.
Thelonious' parents now want to spread the word about Stevens-Johnson syndrome because it can happen, and it is devastating, in hopes, much like the teachings of Christ, by spreading the word, more people will believe in healing powers and seek out a way to fight this evil. In Mobile, Haley Minogue, News 5.
We have more resources on our website about Stevens-Johnson syndrome and Thelonious's battle with it. We also have a link to his GoFundMe account if you'd like to donate. Now, we knew this story would be a talker, so we hosted a live Facebook chat and poll called Is Heaven for Real this afternoon. 12,000 of you watched, and more than 450 people left comments. The poll results are now in. An overwhelmingly number of you, 97%, say heaven is real. 3% say it is not real. 602 people responded. If you missed the discussion, it's not too late to participate. Just search for this post and share your voice.